Hello again, and welcome back to the Gray Faith Study. Today we're going to be talking about Chapter 2, Gray Christian Culture. And I want to start with an idea that I brought up at the end of the first chapter actually, which is that as Christians, as parents especially, we often are worried about the negative ideas our kids might be getting from the outside culture, outside of our faith. But how often do we really ask ourselves whether we or our kids are picking up unhealthy ideas from within our faith culture? And I think this might feel uncomfortable. We don't necessarily like the idea of critiquing our faith culture, but I want to say that it's really more than okay. It's actually very biblical. And I want to give you a couple examples to back that up. The first is Jesus himself, really. We think about Jesus when he became a human and he lived among mankind. And the people that he was with, the dominant religious leaders of his time, were actually very offended by him. And they felt like he was not upholding the letter of the law, and they were shocked that he was eating with sinners and tax collectors, that he was more interested in people's hearts than whether they were following the rule as the Pharisees thought they should. And they were blinded by the culture of their time to the fact that Jesus was the truth, that Jesus was the God that created the world, was the God that gave Moses the 10 Commandments to begin with. And just as they, in their culture and in their minds, twisted what was meant to be good and were unable to recognize Jesus because of that, we in our culture can fall prey to the same problem, where we miss the truth of Jesus because we become so used to the culture that we've been in. And again, it's not that everything that we have in our Christian culture is bad, but unless we're willing to examine it, we may find that we, like the Pharisees, are missing pieces of the truth, pieces of Jesus that would help us to be more genuine in our faith. And also in other places in the Bible, Paul and John, for instance, talk about how we need to be testing everything, testing spirits and teachers and prophecies. And those are all kind of things that we find most often within our faith. And the reason Paul says that we should test those things is to hold on to what's good and get rid of the evil, to get rid of what's not helping us. And that really is the mission that we have when we are examining the faith culture around us. And so I challenge you today to step out of maybe a discomfort of challenging the culture around you, and to find that as you test our culture, that you're able to pull out what is really good and what is really healthy, and be able to say no to the things that really are not helping us and are not helping those outside our faith to really better understand genuine truth, genuine Jesus. So I hope you're encouraged today during your discussion, and thank you again for joining.